Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. I really just wanted to talk about anxiety and depression and like all of these things that kind of come along and come hand in hand with having a chronic illness or any sort of health problem or any sort of like any problem really. So I wanted to talk about an experience I recently had and kind of talk about like why I think it's happening. So I've been feeling like relatively well the past 2 months maybe, and this is probably the longest I've like actually felt well in a year. So which is really sad when you think about it, but it's really good. I should be like knocking on wood constantly. But when I have a span of time where I'm feeling well, it's really interesting because that's when my mind is focused on all of the awful things that have happened. So the way I kind of like explain it to my parents and the way me and my therapist kind of talk about it is that when you're going through like really hard health problems, you are emotionally just focusing on staying alive and getting through the next painful procedure and just sticking through it. But when you're well, and especially people who don't have many good days, like those good days, your brain has to utilize to process everything that has happened to you. And so that's been happening a lot lately for me. Like I'll be having like these flashbacks. Like I swear to God, it is like PTSD. It's like flashbacks of like hospital stays and really painful moments. And, you know, especially when I go back home, because a lot of the places back home, like essentially everywhere back home, I've had like a really painful, physically painful moment, at least. And, yeah, like me and my parents kind of like avoid certain places because that like I once couldn't eat dinner with them. We went out for like an hour and I literally had to bring my food home because I was in the bathroom for like 40 of the 50 minutes that we were there, running back and forth, and I just couldn't stay out. And it was just completely blood. And so all of these like horrible things that happened to us like kind of come back, and I get these anxiety attacks because for the first time in a really, really long time, I feel like my life is going in a path and in a direction that I want it to go in. And I feel like I'm being really productive and I'm doing the things that I want to do. And it's so exciting. But I've been conditioned by my disease that every single time like something positive happens and I feel like I'm working towards a goal, I just like get demolished by my health. And so I was in the library one day and I was having a really good day. I had just done really well on a test, and well, I thought so, and it turned out to be I did really well on a test. I was already studying for another test, and I had just gotten a research position, and I was just going to my first research meeting, and it was like this really great day, and I was so happy and so productive. And all of a sudden, like, my heart just stopped. I was studying for Spanish, and I was making note cards, and all of a sudden, like, I just had, like, this flashback of trying to go to KU and not being able to, and being in the hospital, and then I had a flashback of having to drop out of class, and then I had a flashback about not being able to go to Ireland, even though I already paid for the ticket, and then I had a flashback about how I had to come home early from Florida because I started pooping my pants, and like I had all of these flashbacks of like these things that should have been wonderful in my life, but my disease has taken away from me. And for the first time, I feel like I'm doing things that are really wonderful for other people, and it's devastating and absolutely awful to think that all of these things that I'm doing right now, I may not be able to finish. And that's happened so many times in my life, and these are things that I'm so passionate about. Like, I'm volunteering for hospice, and what if I'm not available? What if I can't be there for someone because of my own health? What if, you know, I can't do as much research as my professor requires because I'm in the hospital? What if I have to withdraw from classes, like medically withdraw from classes, which I've had to do before? What if I have to miss an entire 3 weeks of school because of being in the hospital like I have before? And it's just all of these things that it's like these anxieties about not being able to complete things that I want to. And it's this like anxiety of not really being in control of your own fate, which I mean, none of us are, but sometimes we don't realize it. And when we do, it's really kind of a scary thing. And then I get really sad, and I had to call my mom. I had to like get out of the library and call my mom, and I was just like crying about like how I love everything that I'm doing right now, and that I'm so terrified that I'm not going to be able to complete it. And all she said was, I know. I mean, it's completely rational that you feel that way, and all you can do is, go to the disabilities office, get a letter of accommodation so that they know what's going on, and that, in a big university like the one that I go to, teachers don't really know you very well unless it's a smaller class. And so have those letters of accommodation on file so that they know what's going on, and email your professors and, talk to your therapist about it. And it stinks because that's something that you can't really rationalize, because as far as I'm concerned, it is rational. That fear is very rational. So I guess the best thing to do is, what I've been trying to do is just live in the present. I've been trying to take care of myself, get enough sleep, eat enough, take my vitamins, and just, do everything in my power to be well. Which is really funny because a lot of the times exercise makes me feel really good physically or emotionally, but not very well physically. And so I've been staying away from that aside from riding my bike, and it really stinks because that's the way that I get stressed out. And so I don't really have an outlet for my emotional stress, which is caused by my physical stress. And my physical stress is why I can't have that outlet. And so it's just like all of these like roundabout awkward circles. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I know this is not very happy. It's just kind of me being honest. I feel like, sometimes you guys like these. So anyways, that's where I'm at right now. I hope you guys are emotionally feeling better than I am. So I guess I will talk to you soon. I hope you're healthy and happy and feeling good. Bye.